How's it going, YouTube? Lawler here, as always, trying to break down some FIFAe information for you all. It's been kind of a poop show all over the place with a bunch of different complications. Being perfectly candid with you guys, the more information that comes out, the less confident I feel in this tournament. There's been a lot of complications, a lot of frustrations, and unfortunately, finding the details has been short of impossible. Trying to identify the details, the prize pools, the formats, all that kind of stuff, we haven't really been able to. Even the qualifications and sign-up processes have been an absolute problematic situation. Like, it's been pretty awful. With that in mind, I'm going to try to bring you guys up to date on the confirmed rosters and ones that have happened. There is some that are kind of like a weird in between, and we're just going to assume some things because, one, we're not getting any confirmations, and two, based upon the way things have gone, doesn't really instill any confidence. With that in mind, I do have in my roster document in the description down below, or for anybody who's watching on Twitch chat, !RLCS rosters, there is a tab called FIFAe World Cup. I am updating this as quickly as I can based upon information that's coming on. Let me kind of break down what we have had officially announced, and then we'll kind of nitpick through this document as well. So the first one, and some of these you guys may have heard about, I'm just trying to do an all-encompassing video, is with Violent Panda. He was announced as the one who is going to be basically helping out his region for the tournament. He's basically going to be the coach, the one who's managing and putting it all together. There has been a qualifier that has gone down between two teams that ended up making it out. Both Team Oli Yoris, and Mike Boy, and then Team Devsy, Nick, and Cass that have made it out. Apparently, they're supposed to be doing another qualification process in a LAN in person with 2 invited teams, but luckily for us, one of our community members, Stolp, ended up hitting me with a DM and stating, and I quote, "The chat between admin and player of the Dutch qualifier for added context about the qualifier. How many teams are allowed to go to Zeist, the location of where the LAN will be, where they send people? The admin said supposed to be 2, but could be more. It completely depends." So there is a chance that even though they plan on having a qualifier in person for these 2 teams, and even though we are supposed to have invited teams to said qualifier, they may get rid of those invited teams and just take the qualified teams, which, as you guys can tell by the way I'm saying this, it's really dumb. Again, it continues to get worse. So realistically, does anyone have a chance outside of this team? No, not really. Is it good to have a formality and a LAN in person to see how they compete on stage? Yes, it's cool. It brings the community together. At the end of the day, if they have a chance to go and compete in front of a stage, even though this team is going to smoke this team very likely in November, we'll see how it goes. Either way, cool opportunity for them to play in front of the campus and get out of the house. So that's where we're at with the Netherlands. My assumption is going to be the Oli team. I'm kind of biased. If you guys don't know why, you should watch more of my videos. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, helps me out greatly. After the Violent Panda situation with the Netherlands, we've got official team for Spain, which many of us are very keen on. I think this team could do some damage. It's Atomic, CRR, and Stizzy. This is the official representation out of the qualifier. CRR obviously been playing with Complexity over in the western side of the world. Stizzy as well with Dignitas as he's getting the rebuild. Rumors right now with Stizzy are like apparently Jack in a third, depending on if it's Chronic or somebody else. We'll see. And then Atomic, who's been playing with the Luna Galaxy / many other team names. Right now they are Amai with him, Tox, and Tekos, I'm pretty sure. But pretty talented team. I actually really like this team a lot. Outside of Spain, we do have some more from South America. The next one being Argentina. AJG, Unbroken, and Misery. A lot of people wondering why not Shad, and realistically, I do think Misery, Unbroken, and AJG are all better than Shad nowadays. Nothing in Shad, it's just guys been doing it a long time. Their coach, if I remember correctly, we had on the other page, is Paquitas. So we do have that as their full lineup. Again, talented team, could play upset, but going to be an uphill battle. We then also have Chile, which is going to be Raiseball, Pan, Davatrox, and then Grovel from Loud as their coach. That is your starting lineup for Chile. They went through qualifiers as well pretty convincingly, which is to be expected. All of these qualifier results and stuff, if you guys want to actually see the matches and like what the score differential and stuff was, you can do so on Liquipedia. I'll try to show that at the end as well. But the easy way to do it is just pull up the page, go to FIFAe World Cup, choose what qualifier you're interested in, and you're good to go. So that's what we got for Chile. But the big one that everybody's been talking about that was announced earlier today, we do have an announcement coming from the French that Farah and the 2 other coaches have been selected for each individual team. They ended up putting out a post basically just stating like, hey, these are the coaches that will represent each individual title. Whether they have the ability to pick and choose what the teams are, whether they have the ability to determine what the rosters themselves are, we do not know. We don't have any specifics, like most things, about who specifically gets to pick, choose, and do what for each individual region, because it's different for every single country. We have no idea the process, whether they are going a England route where they bring in a consultant like Here Lies Jeff, the COO of Resolve, and saying, hey man, put this together, find the team because you're familiar with the scene. Or if they're just saying, hey, you're a professional coach that's also from the Netherlands, Violent Panda, you do it. Even still, they're putting up qualifiers and making it weird. Now, if we go back to the other sheet and the other document, a couple things to note. All the ones with stars are technically confirmed. The one that is kind of like a weird in between, and shout outs to Mertzy for bringing this to our attention. This was a basically suggested tournament. Germany put together a qualification process, and even though they won it with Rizek's Tox Wazirs and Catalysm as their sub/coach, that is the best you're going to get out of Germany. Let's be perfectly candid about that. But that is still not the official team technically. My assumption is that and hopefully this doesn't happen again. My assumption is that the qualification or the suggestion tournament will be all that there is, because I don't feel confidently about them either putting together another qualification process in order to figure out what the next best decision is. Because realistically, sure, you still have the final say, and this is allowing you to have that final say, but why not just give it to the best team that qualified? I don't know. Why overcomplicate things? You made a qualifier. You might as well let the qualifier be the reason that team represents your country. Makes too much sense. As for France, we've been kind of theory crafting. We want to see the super team. For Farah, if he is the one that is spearheading that process, the only one he can pick from his team is Vatira, because Atau is already playing for Belgium and Drali is playing for Morocco. So might as well take the next two that we have seen dominate as a duo already. Other teams and other things to pay attention to as well. Obviously, there's no start next to Australia. You've heard me mention this in a previous video. There was supposed to be a qualifier that went down this past weekend, but due to negligence and due to a lack of coordination, you're sensing a trend here with FIFAe that things have fallen apart. And now what was a bunch of teams and players and everybody trying to formulate rosters and play for a qualifier, basically we're like, we messed up. We didn't do it in time. And now it's just an invite. We assume it's going to be Power. Jimma has said that he is going to go look elsewhere to coach. He's open to opportunities. Whether they'll bring him back for that or not, we don't know. So that's where we're at for things. I think it's pretty crazy across the board on how things have really fallen apart. I'm not surprised if it's Braun, because Braun has coached those guys in the past. But yeah, I think across the board, it's been really, really disconjointed, uncoordinated, ugly across the board. I'm trying to get more details about times of things, when things are going to actually play out. We have tried to poke and prod about information about what we can find out. Regarding the Rocket League section for timing of things, and this is from a untrusted source, just from someone third party that is slightly associated. Don't take this for granted. I'm just trying to provide you guys any and all information I can get. I know it may be a leak. It may not be the most professional route. It may not be the right way of doing things when it comes to journalism type stuff. But at this point, any and all information will hold them accountable. So we're going to do it for the good of the people watching. $300,000 prize pool that was leaked in the Netherlands signups. The second thing is that timing of the schedule. Their FIFAe series likely is going to run from the 8th to the 13th of December. And they mentioned the 5th to the 8th is probably going to focus on their endemic content, which is FIFA gameplay. So as of right now, based upon the information, 5, 6, 7, 8 is likely going to be FIFA, and then into either FIFA Manager or something like that. So EA Sports FC is probably what it's going to be. And then they will transition into Rocket League at the tail end, which if that is the case, that's good for us because our Apex tournament is going on that weekend as well. So that is what I have for information. I will try to keep you guys up to date on any information I find whatsoever. I want this event to be really cool. We've had numerous opportunities with the Intel World Open and everything else, and then COVID kind of shut that down. But every time we try to see like representation for regions and stuff like that, it falls apart. Why they're inviting teams like Turkey, no offense to Mertzy in particular on that one, but like realistically, if you're trying to play against pros and represent, why you're bringing in Turkey, why you're bringing in Portugal, when there's other teams like Canada that are available and stuff. We don't know the details behind it, but it's really frustrating to see what could be a really cool event just slowly getting diminished in quality day after day. So I don't know. I'm hoping that they take this as a trial and error situation and they come back stronger next year and bring in actual support with management and stuff like that, and really turn this into what it could be. But as of right now, I mean, we're hearing all sorts of things. Very good rumors on Beast Mode not attending for USA. I've also heard that literally no one in USA has been reached out to yet. So who knows what's going to happen. Some pretty wild stuff. We've also got some pretty crazy announcements coming up here in the next week or so. If you want to make sure you don't miss out on those, the one that I'm hearing rumors on, if it is, I will have the exclusive. I'm going to shock some people. Pretty rough. Either way, hopefully not all doom and gloom. We got some cool announcements, though, to combat that. So like, subscribe, notifications down below. As always, helps me out. And we'll see you in the next video. Peace.